Hey everyone, Jonah Mathis here. So today we're going to be unboxing some of Sony's newest products, and this includes the Sony HT-A5000, the SW3 Sub, and most importantly, the RS5 surround speakers. Now everyone has been really excited about these. I've been really excited about these because they're very different than basically most of the other surround speakers out there. So they're similar to the HT-A9 surrounds, just a little smaller, and they have a battery built in. But we're gonna unbox all this, set it up, kind of get some first impressions in before we do our actual review video, probably in a couple weeks from now. So let's get into it. All right, so the HT-A5000. So this is a little different than the HT-A7000, a bit smaller than it, and instead of supporting 7 channels of audio, it only supports 5 channels of audio. So looks like you got the remote control, power adapter, HDMI cable. It's actually a bit bigger than what I thought initially. And some documentation, other stuff like that. We don't really need any of that right now. Oh, okay, I actually didn't realize it was metal. And the upward firing speakers. Not bad, not bad. So as I was saying, this is a 5.1.2 channel soundbar. And I think how it's configured is it has, so I think it's 5 channels coming from the front. And then on the sides here, they kind of have these little ports. And essentially that's just kind of like a passive radiator, more so just kind of shooting air out the sides to help expand the audio a little bit, make it sound wider than it actually is. And then the 5.1, so it does have built-in subwoofers, and those are in the front. I'm not sure how well you can actually see that here. On the A7000, we weren't super impressed with the built-in subwoofers. They sounded kind of muddied and muffled. We didn't really like them, but adding in a subwoofer completely solves that problem. So it'll be nice to test out the SW3, which is the model below the SW5, which we've looked at a lot already. So let's go ahead and get the SW3 unboxed now. The cats are having a lot of fun with the open boxes. So SW3. Now, I've tested the SW5 like a lot. We've tested it with the HT-A9, the HT-A7000, so I'm pretty familiar with how that one sounds, and I really like how the SW5 sounds. I've heard things about the SW3, some people saying that it doesn't sound as good, but I think for a cheaper cost too, because what the SW5 700, this one comes in at, it's 400, right? So this one comes in at 400, so a bit cheaper. So we'll see if it's commendable for the price. I'm gonna need a knife or something to get this. I think it's really simple. All right, so, so I've seen pictures of it, never actually seen it in person. It is a lot smaller than the SW5, not nearly as heavy either. So on the front here, I'm guessing this is where all the audio comes out. There's a little bit of space behind the cloth here. So this may be where the actual subwoofer is at, and then it's just pushing air out of here. It has a very similar design though, where it has cloth on the front and back, and then on the sides it has this like textured plasticky material. Feels nice. Doesn't feel like it'll scuff up really easily. On the back, we just have simple power in and then power button and link button. So we'll use the link button to wirelessly pair it to the A5000, the HT-A9, or the A7000. Let's unbox what everyone's been waiting for, the RS5s. It was funny, I actually got these in and then immediately left for a trip to Colorado. So I was out of town for basically 5 days after I had received them, like literally 10 minutes before walking out the door. So I took a quick picture, but I never actually got to unbox them or even look at them in person. So I've been really looking forward to this. Nice packaging from Sony here, all cardboard. I hate when I have to see styrofoam and deal with that whenever I'm unboxing stuff. All right, so in this box is a bunch of documentation, so don't really need this. This box, I'm assuming, is all the power cables and the power adapters. Okay, let's get these on. See how this looks. Mr. Kitty, you're not supposed to be up here, sir. Oh, all right, get down, get down. Okay. That looks really good. I really like that. It's all cloth on the outside, but it has like a, when you feel it, it has like a hexagon material or like structure to it, but they look really, really nice. They look clean. The top, they have that power button, and then this was really interesting is their Optomize button. So Sony totally expects you to move these around because they are battery powered. So when you move them around, you'll want to re-optimize your room because they may not be in the exact spot they should be in or the spot they were in beforehand. So if you press this Optimize button, it's going to re-optimize the room, do the sound, I think sound field optimization again, and then it should be good. So on the bottom, it looks like there's just a simple DC power in, and then I think a link button. And then the power adapters, let's see what cables they're using. I was really hoping that they'd use like a USB-C cable, just so you could kind of customize the length of the cable that you needed, but it looks like they have gone with just regular DC power connectors, which isn't the end of the world, but it definitely would have been nice to see USB-C. I have no idea what these are. Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, because it kind of slots in here at the bottom. So the power cable will go in there. Oh, I see. So it's to help like manage this connector. So if you wall mount it, you can run the cable down the wall, down like a hole in the very back here. Still think it would be pretty, I think it'll be a little more difficult to wall mount these and like truly hide the cable. You may have to like, this is where the mount is. You'd have to cut the hole right here and then just kind of run the cable up as best you can. With them being battery powered, I don't think there's a need to like truly like permanently wall mount them. I don't know, we'll see though. You just have to get on top of everything, don't you? Huh? Huh? You have to get on top of everything. Before we dive into the setup of the RS5 surround speakers, I want to thank NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Nothing is more important than knowing my private information is safe from hackers, and NordVPN allows you to maintain your online privacy and gives you access to streaming content worldwide. It's never been easier to use, and you can connect to the nearest VPN server with just one click, or even have it auto-connect for you. And since I'm constantly traveling, I want to ensure that I maintain my privacy and protect my personal information. It blocks malware by stopping you from landing on malicious websites and stops intrusive tracking by concealing your IP address and shielding your data from snoopers and other malicious individuals. It gives me the peace of mind that my data and internet activity are secure when connected to any Wi-Fi network. Unlike many others, NordVPN allows you to access movies and TV shows that aren't available in your home country. So if you're frustrated when a TV show is removed before you can finish it, you have a solution and you can stream content that's available in another country right on your device. Get the NordVPN 2-year plan plus 1 month free for an exclusive discount at nordvpn.com/JonahMathis. It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. There's more information about this deal in the description down below, so check it out if this is something that you're interested in. So we got everything unboxed now. We're gonna go ahead and set up the HT-A5000, the SW3, and the RS5s. So let's do that. So soundbar, subwoofer setup, now we're gonna set up the rear surrounds. And I was actually curious as if they were gonna be labeled rear right and rear left. They actually are. So you can see here, this one is the rear right and this one is the rear left. So rear left is the one we're gonna do first. Grab our power adapter. And I know this isn't like the most ideal placement for them, but that's kind of what I really like about Sony systems is they basically build them to be used in the most non-ideal spots. The optimization and the calibrating that they do with the audio is really, really good. And even for a room like this where it's really not perfect, it does a really, really good job. Oh, the cable even slots in right there. That's really nice, so it doesn't move around. So that one's plugged in. And again, not the most ideal spot, but even testing the HT-A9 in this room, like it really, really impressed us with how well it handled all the audio. This plugged in. All right. So setting this up is actually really easy. Okay, so I think here it's scanning for the different wireless frequencies in like this room in this area. When it's optimizing for these wireless networks, what I think it's doing is it's changing the frequency at which the soundbar communicates with the subwoofer and then the surround speakers. So if you have we have a wireless router right underneath our entertainment center. So that's pumping out a lot of 2.4 gigahertz wireless frequencies. So what I'm thinking is it's going to change the wireless frequency up a little bit so that they don't interfere with each other and that it works better. You know, we never had any issues with the HT-A9 or the A7000 as far as wireless, interference or anything like that. So I imagine that's what they're doing. Optimization complete. All right, cool. So it's already found the subwoofer and the surround speakers. In the past, we've had to press the pairing button on all the components and on the soundbar, and then it would pick up, but seems to have just found them all automatically, which is really nice. So as part of the setup process here, instead of going in and typing in the password, piece by piece with the remote control, you can use an Apple setup if you have an iPhone. There we go. So network connection successful. And then built-in Chromecast feature. Yep, let's enable that. All right, update's complete now. So I think we should be good to go. Oh, the sound field optimization now. So we're gonna be quiet and let it do its thing. Sounds good. All right. So it runs a little demo here now. Not bad. Not bad at all. So I do want to try out this whole Optomize button thing because this speaker isn't exactly where I would want it. I actually want it a bit further back from where it's sitting. So I'm going to move this back some, give it a little distance, turn it a little more this way. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Just kind of give it some more space between me. Right there. So now if I press the Optimize button.
Starting optimization.
Off the bat, the overhead sound from both of the surrounds is really, really good. I can hear it from that one as well. We do have, they're 9-foot ceilings and they are flat. So upward firing speakers work very well in this room. Of course, if you have a higher ceiling or it's angled, then you're gonna have some issues and the sound's not gonna bounce off properly, but in here it works great. All right, so let's get into some testing now.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy. Whether the soundscape sets the mood of a scene, of nature's fury.
recently Sony did an update. Actually, it may not even be out as the time that we're recording this, but Sony sent me the soundbar and they have the newest firmware version on it. And that's their, they talked to me about it and they explained it all, but it's essentially like a better version of sound field optimization, where sound field optimization is one part of it, but there's another part that's been added in. So it's basically just better 360 audio processing. And off the bat, that's really, really good. Typically, whenever we watch that scene, kind of where the ball is kind of traveling around the room in that 3D space, it gets a little lost when it starts going at like a 45-degree angle going up and down. And when it does that on a lot of other systems, the audio just kind of gets lost and doesn't know what to do. And in this one, that didn't really happen. Like for a second it was kind of lost, but then it picked back up and you could immediately tell where the audio was playing from. So it's really, really good. I'm very impressed with that. And this one tested the low end very, very well to see how deep a sub can go. Oh, that's funny. So right as like the bass is going, Voodoo's standing directly in front of this subwoofer, and he's just getting blasted in the face with the sub. Now let's take a look at Ford versus Ferrari. And yeah, as I've said, like the 3D audio is already quite a bit better than what I've experienced already. HT-A9 does really, really well. I think this having the center channel, it still feels very, very wide as far as like the sound image. Subwoofer's not bad. The SW5 is definitely a bit stronger. It can go a bit lower, but I think for a smaller room, this one's gonna be great. Of course, I'll have full details when we sit down and do a lot more testing and kind of compare things back and forth. But I'm really liking these RS5s so far. Like I really, really like the way they sound. There was one piece when it was raining really, really loud. They did start to sound a bit tinny, but it really wasn't bad. But Ford versus Ferrari is great because when the tires are screeching, you can really tell on the high end, like how do the speakers handle really high frequency sound. And this one's great for that. It's also great for the rumbles and the low end.
Mr. Ford, this is a surprise. Apologies for the unannounced intrusion, Mr. Shelby, but your man pays $9 million for an automobile. He ought to at least be able to see it. Open the door! Hey, open the door! Open the door! Just hold me right there, and you take my hand. All right. Open the door. Sorry, sir. Can you just give me a moment? Open the door!
Sony has done a really good job with their audio processing. Yeah, that's a bit better than what the HT-A5000 did. The surrounds, by far, much better than those the RS3 surround speakers. But just the audio processing alone on the soundbar, because when I tested the HT-A7000, we didn't have that new firmware update. Yeah, so when we tested the HT-A7000, it didn't have that firmware update on it. And I actually have the firmware update for it, so we'll be doing before and after test on that just to see how much better the audio processing is after that firmware update. But like just first impressions, surrounds, very, very impressive. Yeah, 600 bucks is a lot compared to the 350 for the RS3 speakers, but if you have the means, I think these things are gonna be absolutely killer. SW3, it's not bad. Like, again, I think if you have a really, really large room, the SW5 is probably gonna be a better option, but I really don't have any issues with this, you know, smaller footprint subwoofer. It does a good job. I like that it's front firing and not like Samsung's where like the subwoofer's on the side. That's always been a big complaint with Samsung subwoofer. But it coming out from the front and where I have it positioned is really good. May mess around putting it in the back of the room to see how well it performs there. But I typically like having the sub in the very front. In the back, it is a little cramped back here with the surrounds, and then trying to find a place for the sub is a little difficult. Can you see him? What are you doing? Mittens. Now I want to test out music, because what really excites me about these right here is the fact that they're wireless. They have batteries in them. So I'm curious, like, first off, how does music sound? How does Sony 360 Reality Audio music sound, which we can do through Tidal? But then also, like, if we take the speaker, unplug it from the power, and just, let's say I'm listening to music and I want to place this in the kitchen while I'm cutting up some, you know, vegetables or something. Like, how's it going to sound then? That's what I'm really curious about. I think that's the big attraction with these being battery powered, where essentially you could have music playing inside, and then let's say you want to unplug your speaker, take it outside while you're grilling or something. Like, that seems, I think a lot of people want to do something like that. So let's test that out now. There's not any modes on this one.
No music, no hearing.
Yeah, so that's another interesting thing about this remote compared to the old one. I wish they had the old one down here. But on the new one, there used to be like a movie, cinema, and music button like right there where the sound field button is, and now there's just that. No, that's very impressive. I guess what we can test now, I want to open up the Sony Music Center app to see what this looks like in there and see if there's any different settings or anything like that. I'm curious to see if there's like anything different, and I know that's new. The sound field setting is new. Night and voice, those are the same. Subwoofer, rear speaker volume, so you can adjust those if needed, but it looks like it's already kind of set those in optimized positions, because I didn't touch those. And then, so that's really it. My biggest question, like, if I disconnect these, are they going to continue playing like the 360 surround audio, or are they just gonna kind of switch to like what a stereo speaker would play, or switch to mono? Like, I'm just curious how that works now. All right, so now I'm playing through Spotify Connect. So it's still Wi-Fi streaming, but it's not like Sony 360 Reality Audio. So, let's take this. So it's definitely not playing like the front stereo. It's playing more of the like surround processed audio. It's not bad by any means. If I set this right here, how's this gonna sound? So on first look, or just kind of checking, I don't think it's gonna like switch to a stereo audio when you unplug it. And I don't really see a setting to do that either, which is something I'd like to see. I'd really like to see them add that option where you can just set it to like a music mode or a movie mode. And in music mode, you can like turn off 360 sound and just have it play like as a stereo set of speakers. So then you can use this as like a wireless Bluetooth speaker in a sense, except it's all streaming to the sound bar, which is then streaming the music to this speaker. So I don't know, We'll have to see. I don't think that's something you can do. Maybe it is. I'll have to talk to them and see, you know, what's up there. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. I really haven't done anything like this in the past. So if you want to see more or something similar, let me know in the comments down below, and stay tuned for the full review of the HT-A5000 SW3 Sub. And then we'll probably do a couple videos on the RS5s, right? Like we're gonna test these with the HT-A7000, with the A5000, and then maybe do just a dedicated video on that. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.